Hello.
Hello, Nathan. How are you?
I'm not too bad, man. What about yourself?
Yeah, not too shabby. Not too shabby.
Whoop, whoop.
How have you been? Your week?
Yeah, not too bad.
Yeah.
It's been alright, you know. Same.
Have you been out in Storm Brendan?
Heaven forbid. No, but it's really annoying. It's cold, wet, windy.
It's a bit. Yeah, it's a weird one. January's actually going quite quickly though, which I'm kind of very pleased about.
Yes, it's good. It's
usually
good.
one of those months that just drags on.
Yeah.
By the way, I just saw
let
someone
it end.
with all of their Christmas lights still up, and I thought, you lazy son of a gun.
Yeah, that's pretty.
It's
what
the
are we on now?
14th.
Yeah, that's
If
like
it's
2
the
weeks. Yeah, it's like 2
guys,
weeks in. It's pointless.
and you're gonna still have your Christmas lights.
Okay, so
up.
when would you? When's the day?
Okay, you got to do it just maybe like the second or third. Like it's got to be pretty swift after New Year's. What do you reckon?
Boxing Day.
Really?
Nah, who wants to fucking do anything on Boxing
What
Day?
about? I was gonna say New Year's Eve without the Christmas stuff. It would just be strange. You got to have it still there.
Nah.
What would you actually not? You
Nah.
get rid of your Christmas decorations before New Year's.
Yeah, just do it.
You madman! You maverick!
I actually saw something. I think it was on Facebook or something like that. It was about some woman, and she basically packed all of her Christmas stuff up on Boxing Day morning, and she just like she cling filmed everything up. Just cling filmed the Christmas tree really, really tight, and just put it away. That's madness. Madness.
Yeah, Boxing Day. You've got to have your Christmas.
And Boxing Day's lazy. Boxing Day is lazy day to me.
Yeah, you don't do anything Boxing Day. You maybe go for a walk.
What?
A walk, Nathan. Have you not heard of it?
No, I never heard of one of them.
Not been on one of them.
No, what does she do for you?
Have you been listening to much lately?
To be honest, man, no.
No?
Just the same 50 songs that I listened to since I was about 15.
Metallica.
Yeah, Metallica, My Chemical Romance, you know, same old, same old.
Joe, I did have a bit of a throwback to the third one, which is the one that wasn't that popular, the Danger Days, I think it's called.
Yeah, I like that. I like the start of it when they do the, they do the little start like this.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, no, I didn't mind it. It's alright. It's not the best, like, fucking album in the world, though, is it?
That's the thing. But musically, it does have something really great to it.
It's got some good stuff in
It's
there.
kind of very original in that way,
Yeah.
actually. But anyway, so I've been listening
What have you been listening to?
I've been listening to... Okay, I went through a Kinks phase. Have you listened to the Kinks?
Yeah, not, like, amazingly. I know a few songs.
Throwing back to your soundtrack idea, your soundtrack question.
Yes.
That was an amazing soundtrack, actually. It was the not Grand Budapest Hotel. It was Darjeeling Limited, another Wes Anderson film.
Okay.
And it had mainly... Well, there was two incredible Kinks tracks that I'd never heard before. It was Strangers and one other one. And... yeah, it just it reintroduced them to me, because I guess there were tracks that were maybe later in their career, and they obviously had I Really Want You Now, which was their big hit.
Yeah.
But that was ages ago, so I guess people hadn't really been like sticking with them, and it turns out they've got so many great hits. So just going through their best of. The other thing I've been listening to, went through a bit of a Prince. Because have you listened to Prince much?
So this is one of the things for me. When I was probably about, I don't know, I'd say from the age of about 12 to the age of about, I don't know, 20, 25, 26.
Yeah.
I hated like 80s music because my parents always used to play it when I was a kid, and I just didn't get along with it at all. And then I just slowly, I don't know if it's my age sort of catching up with me, but I've slowly started to like listen to things like Prince, or what was the other one?
Rick Astley, of course.
Boy George.
What? George
Those
Michael?
People.
No.
I can't remember.
Oh, Duran Duran.
You know the come on. No, it's not Duran Duran. I can't remember what the fuck they're called. But just shit like that, basically.
Right, with that
just
like,
shit that like
obnoxious drum machine
or just
beat.
all that crap that like my parents would listen to when I was probably about 6 or 7.
They
8 or 9.
rickrolled you. You've been unable to listen to any more Rick Astley.
But yeah, I literally, I'd never listen to. I wouldn't listen to that, and I was just like, Purple Rain's actually a good song, isn't it?
This might be why
It's actually good.
It's yeah. See,
Especially the extended
album.
one.
This is the thing. I went straight for the album because I was like, where to start with Prince, and everyone goes Purple Rain. But apparently there's a movie to it that I need to see as well.
Don't know.
Never heard of that, but it turns out I went to a friend with it, and he said, "Do you know what's interesting? Is later on Prince actually gets really good." So he sent me just like, it almost sounds a bit like, I imagine Justin Timberlake going, I want to sound a bit like this late Prince stuff, because I don't know who was listening to it. It's very, very like sexual. The video, he's just kind of like parring off ladies while rapping. He raps. I didn't know. Did you ever hear Prince rap before?
Oh, I can't say I have.
Yeah, he raps.
Go Prince.
There's one called Black Sweat, and the other one is called Sexy Motherfucker.
Yeah, I think I've heard about it. Yeah, I think I've heard that.
Groovy.
Yeah.
It's really groovy. Good bass riff there. The last one I've been listening to, I don't know if you heard of him, Michael Kiwanuka. Whoosh. No, really?
Yeah, completely flies over my head. Sorry, mate.
Oh, I'm trying to think. He's got a new album out anyway, and I strongly suggest it. It's there's a really big single come off of it, which is called "You Ain't the Problem." You ain't the problem.
What are we talking? Are we talking folky,
It
poppy,
is
country?
kind of like soul with R&B. It's kind of very atmospheric. So there's a lot of sort of like slow builds, a lot of strings in there, like very big production.
It sounds like my worst nightmare, so I'm gonna give it a go.
Is it really not? You wouldn't want to listen to it. You wouldn't.
I don't know.
Give it a go. Let me know what you think.
What's his name?
Michael
Sol Garrigo.
Very close.
Thank you.
Michael Kiwanuka.
K-
Kiwanuka.
I'm just going to end up googling Kardashian.
If I'm saying this wrong, people let me know. Kiwanuka, it could be.
Kiwanuka.
But anyway, yeah. So that's what I've been listening to.
Okay, fair enough. So you haven't been listening to Billie Eilish.
Billie Eilish. No segue. So,
thank you.
Or as
they call me the Segway Machine.
Have you heard Rainn Wilson met her and he goes, "So it's you, Billie Eilish?" He's got him.
It's not eyelash, is it? If anything, it's like Eilish. Eilish? Eilish. Whatever. So this girl.
So she is doing the James Bond theme tune. It just came out this afternoon.
Yeah, it just came out. Yeah, it just came out this afternoon.
What do you think of that?
Fair enough. Mm-hmm. Like, she's quite a young, up and coming artist. Maybe it might. I don't know. Might have something to do with maybe the fan base. Might be the way that they're going to take the movies.
Interesting.
So obviously, they used to go for like big soul singers. Sort of back in the day with the James Bond songs. Yeah, exactly. Goldfinger. Madonna did one. I know it was a shit film, but still.
Die Another Day. I love that film.
Oh, come on.
Part of me loves that film.
The CGI, that's bullshit.
Just surviving, Mr. Shang. Just surviving. When he goes, Saved by the Bell.
So obviously they usually go for these older singers. Mm-hmm. It's quite nice that they've gone for like a super, super young one. Obviously, I know that Adele did one. If it wasn't the last one, it was a year before.
Yeah, they've got the last couple of soundtracks has been really decent. So they managed to get
Jack White done one as well, didn't he?
Did he?
Yeah, Jack White. Jack White did one.
They got Chris Cornell to do one. Do you remember that?
Yeah.
Casino Royale, that was.
So I think with this, I think with the Daniel Craig one, just all of his Bond films. If you just look at who's been singing the songs, you can tell they're kind of trying to mix it up a bit, and they don't, because they're trying to go away from that mould of what James Bond used to be and trying to make it something different and new.
That's true. Sam Smith again.
I like the, I'm not really a massive fan of hers. I've listened to a few of her songs, to be fair. Like that, the fucking bad guy. Like that one kind of stuck in my head for maybe like a couple of weeks. And
how annoying! And it just became a meme, didn't it? Yeah. Immediately.
It was crazy. Yeah, exactly. But she's actually got like a few sort of other songs on that album, and they're very different to that song. So I would, if you haven't listened to any song by her other than that, go and have a listen, because
I'm sure
it's
everybody's
different. It's
listened to
very
Billie Eilish.
different.
Yeah, it's. Do you know what it is? It's very 21st century. It sounds like nothing you've heard before because the production quality is insanely good. Like,
Yeah.
it's her. She doesn't have to do much really. I mean, it's almost to the point of like ASMR. Have you seen ASMR videos where they just quietly whisper into the microphone? And it's like that, you know, like a lot of her more, I don't know, emotional, like, bottom of the album stuff is kind of like that kind of, just her talking, but with loads of great production quality. There's loads of, like, weird effects that you've never heard before, honestly. So, apparently her brother does all the production, and he's kind of like the mastermind behind her sound.
I like that, though. I think, you know, bringing something a bit different to the you know, everyone usually puts a lot of emphasis on James Bond films coming out. Okay, cool. Who's going to be James Bond? What's the plot? Who's going to be the enemy? And then usually it is who is going to sing who's going to sing the big opening song for the soundtrack.
Oh, I also found out
Hans
Zimmer has just been announced for the rest of the soundtrack. No Time to Die is heating up, man.
Win-win. I think it's gonna be.
You got some big names in there.
But yeah, I'm quite. I reckon Billie Eilish for that like main songs, pretty good choice. Probably get some youthful people interested about James Bond, I guess. I think it said, isn't it the 25th movie or something?
Yeah, it must be. Yeah, it must be maybe even more than that. Maybe.
I'm not sure. I think they're making a big deal out of it, being like Bond 25.
That sounds right. Doesn't it?
And obviously we spoke about it before. I reckon what they're going to do with Bond now is, we both said, completely take it in another fucking direction.
They are, aren't they? They're going to do a Doctor Who. That's what they're going to do.
So I think to start it here and get some get a younger audience involved in the film now.
Yeah.
As they're going to change it is you know, they're then going to be your victims for the next 50 years watching the movie.
Yeah.
So it you know completely makes sense. Yeah.
You make it sound like you fucking hate James Bond.
No, yeah. I like James Bond.
I've had to suffer through every one of them, just like the other victims. Okay, so the one I really can't wait to discuss with you.
Speaking of victims,
The Gentleman. It was so good, right?
So
Tell me
good.
what you think. Go on.
I would go. How do we rate things here? Out of 10 or out of 5?
Let's go 10. Let's do a 10-point system.
Out of 10. Okay, 10-point system. From here on out, you've got a 10-point system.
You heard it here first.
I would go 8.5 out of 10.
Yeah, I would honestly say this is Guy Ritchie back to his best. This felt like as good as the old sort of Snatch, Two Smoking Barrels. So I would give it a 9 out of 10. Yeah.
I was really concerned. I remember speaking to who I went to go see the film with. I was really concerned when I went into the movie because all the posters and stuff that you see for the movie have really gone in hard on this whole Kingsman vibe.
Yeah,
they went for the Kingsman kind of logo, Kingsman font.
Yeah.
And it just looked really Kingsman-y on the posters. I was like, please tell me that's not what this movie's going to be because I just want Snatch. I just want Lock, Stock.
Yes.
Give me that kind of crap. Like I'm not saying it's crap, but just give me that in my veins. That's what I want from this movie. And I was just a little bit worried going in there that that's not what this was going to be. And I fucking loved it straight away. Brilliant. Yeah. Hugh Grant, fucking so good. So good.
He was amazing. I honestly found it a little distracting, the fact that it was Hugh Grant. So Hugh Grant's character, he's basically talking in a kind of like slightly camp style of Hugh Grant speaking, right?
Yeah, without like offending anyone, I'm pretty sure his character is.
Yeah, definitely, and he comes out with all sorts of like cock and bollock stuff, doesn't he?
He makes a lot of references to going to bed with Charlie, whatever the fuck.
Charlie Hunnam.
Charlie Hunnam, that's it.
That's it.
He makes a lot of references to getting into bed with him. So
he's definitely he's supposed to be gay. But I don't know. I think it was just the fact that it was like, is Hugh Grant in this film? Like 4 Weddings and a Funeral, Hugh Grant, and then we've got him in a gangster film. He did pull it off spectacularly.
Yeah.
He was kind of the narrator for the story, and I thought the way they did that was it really worked actually, because sometimes you can have one of those like, here's someone telling the story and it gets a bit distracting, but it didn't harken back to that too much but in between some of the scenes that were more important, and I don't think it overwhelmed the storyline too much.
I really enjoyed the start of it. The you know, I like movies that will start you in the sort of 3/4 mark, and then they'll arch it back, which is obviously what they did here. The movie starts with a little monologue from Matthew.
Oh yes.
From Matthew.
Uh-huh.
From him.
All right.
all right. But yeah, so it starts with a little mini monologue from him. He's sitting in a pub, and then you're led to believe that he gets shot, and then the movie kind of continues on from there. All the casting was like really, really good.
Yeah.
Like props to the Asian guy.
Oh yeah.
Who played the gangster guy.
What was it?
The other
Chinese
American
Harry or something.
Oh,
I don't remember.
I something.
Oh yeah. One-eyed.
Fuck. I can't remember now.
I can't remember. Never
It was
mind.
I something. Anyway, but yeah, he was really, really good. He obviously ends up being a lot more devious than
Yes.
than what you
Great
expect.
twist in that storyline.
And the other American guy I really, really liked as well.
Yes. Yeah.
Just like it's literally just what you want from that movie. Like when we talk about Lock, Stock and Snatch, you've got all these different characters, and you've got all these interwoven plots, and that's literally what the movie is. It's not as good as Lock, Stock. It's not as good as Snatch, but it is in the same. It's definitely in the same
realm.
ballpark.
Yeah.
Also, shout out to fucking Colin Farrell.
Oh my god, it's
He was
hilarious!
he's so
Every
good in
scene
this.
he was in, and I thought what they did nicely, whoever did the casting again, saw this character and they thought of In Bruges. You could tell it was very much Colin Farrell. The point he kept saying, "That'd make a good film," in Bruges. And I think whoever was the casting director, like perfect, because everybody was just exactly like they were used to their greatest potential, right? It really felt like a complete cast.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so my point with this film, I think, I saw a Joe Rogan podcast with Guy Ritchie. Did you see that one?
Nope.
And in that podcast, he comes in a suit, and actually what they ended up talking about, and I think it was way before this was at least a year ago, was the principles of being a gentleman and being a man, and like how he's like, you should, if you've got a job to do, you should do it well. If you're going to arrive at an occasion, be there on time and make sure that you're dressed for the occasion. You know what you're talking about. And these were really important things that I thought came into it. I thought then in every aspect of each character, they were rich, interesting characters.
Yeah,
who
agreed.
It made me just think, I don't know anyone this interesting. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, definitely.
No offense, mate.
Cheers, man. It's fun. I don't know any interesting people either.
But you got Matthew McConaughey with a weed farm.
Oh wow.
And he's like,
I believe he calls it bush.
He does indeed, yes.
Bush.
Underground weed farm. But then you've got everybody else in it seems to know so much about what they do, right? Even Charlie Hunnam's character, Hugh Grant, is like just full of dialect, and like he's so sophisticated. Everyone in it has some level of sophistication.
Yeah.
And I think I wonder if that conversation came into it, Joe Rogan, where it kind of inspired him. I'd like to think that.
Yeah, potentially. Who knows?
What you've got in this as well is a lot of commentary on youth culture versus what his idea of a man should be. And I think it's a bit of a harkening back to what he thinks gentlemen used to be like, because I think he's kind of thinking there was like that waspy era, the kind of the wasp suited man, and now it doesn't seem to be much of a thing. So there's some commentary on here's what a modern day gangster is, and here's what he thinks a gangster should be.
I get exactly what you mean.
Think about the heroin addict scene. And that was an amazing scene. I think that was one of the best parts.
What, when they go into the block of flats?
They go into the block of flats,
really, really
and
good.
he's not there to do anything but take back the daughter.
Yeah, the daughter.
Who has just got lost in the wrong situation. She's hanging out with crack addicts. And end up knocking a guy off the building. That's the main punchline to that, where he goes, Jesus, Harry, you're going to have to invest in some parachutes.
Yeah, I love that.
Everybody in the cinema cracked up at that, and I did as well. I thought it was absolutely hilarious because they'd already done it one time before in this film. But it was the kind of lecturing. It was like, yeah, I smoke weed, but I'm going to do it properly. I know what I'm doing. I know what I like, and I'm not going to put that filth in my veins because you guys are fucking your lives up. And there was some real hard-hitting kind of like, this is what it is to be a loyal friend as well. There was also that kind of Colin Farrell and his gang.
Yeah.
They're kind of like ninjas. They're like the ultimate ninja team, aren't they?
I just thought like that any scenes that they were in, they literally stole the city.
Exactly.
And they were just absolutely like, it was just ridiculous.
I think that scene with the heroin crack addict's den was brilliant. Then the chase following it, where the guy falls off, he's got to get their phones back. But also the whole scene with Colin Farrell in the shop. That was just absolutely hilarious. Because there you go, there's some commentary on him being a true hard man who has seen so much that he feels confident in any situation. There's 3 guys here. One of them, he could have a knife for all he knows. But he turns around and goes, fucking loud in it here. And he just really...
goes absolutely mental at these little kids and just like takes them to school. It's brilliant.
I love the way he kind of like pars off all these insults. See, that's the thing that I think Guy Ritchie talks about, which was the ability to, like, if you're going to insult someone, don't just say, fuck you, like that guy does in the end, because he goes, Jesus, lads, I'm going to town here. One of you, come on. And then just beats the shit out of them.
Yeah, just beats the shit out of them, doesn't it?
Off with a knife, doesn't it? Yeah. I would really rate this film. I
really enjoyed it. I think the only thing that annoyed me, which is going to sound ridiculous coming from me, but the only thing that really annoyed me towards the end of the movie was it was like they were trying to reach a certain limit of swear words.
Oh, really? Do you think so?
Like, and I swear...
There was a bit much, wasn't there?
I swear a lot. I swear a fuck ton, just on your average day.
Yes.
But even for me, like for the first few C bombs, I chuckled. I giggled like a little schoolgirl. But then by the end of the movie, I was like, I was A, desensitized to it.
Agreed. Yes.
But B, I was just kind of like,
was that?
It's lost meaning.
Was that necessary? Exactly. Yeah. I felt like Guy Ritchie took that to another level that it didn't need to go to, especially when you've got. Maybe the narrator says it a lot. Maybe that's part of his charisma, part of his character. The fact that he's always on about his cock and balls or whatever.
Yeah.
But you don't need to hear the C word. Well, it must have been like 50 times it felt like. It felt like a lot of times. Do not take your kid to see this film, please.
I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be able to get it, mate. But no, I really enjoyed it. Like everyone did a sterling performance.
A sterling performance for everyone.
And really enjoyed the movie
to their maximum. That they could have. Charlie Hunnam as well, really good.
Yeah, really, really good.
Yeah, and I haven't seen Sons of Anarchy as well, so I was quite. It was like a first for me, honestly.
Yeah.
The other thing was Michelle Dockery. I found out something about her, which is that she was not posh in real life. So she's got that quite sort of like... Apparently she went to Downton Abbey.
Yeah.
And in Downton Abbey she has to be really... Hello, would you like a cup of tea? And in this, she is that kind of like... Alright, how's it going?
She has to be proper like this. But she's got a lot of money.
Exactly. And do you know what I liked about her character? Is that even though... Somebody might have gone to Guy Ritchie like, we need to have a female protagonist in this because there's a lack of one. It wasn't like it didn't feel forced to have, this is just Matthew McConaughey's girlfriend. It was like you kind of gave her, you gave her a storyline.
She
was
gave
on
her story
with the other gangsters, and I thought that was really important. But she had like a real power in the room, as well as being that kind of like sex icon as well. Yeah. And you could see that that last shot was kind of, he says something like, "This is what makes a king," and he goes, "Fancy any chance?"
I fucking love that scene as well when the fucking Asian guy goes to meet with him in his pub.
Yeah.
And he sits down and he speaks to him.
Yeah.
And they do that whole... They do this whole back and forth between, they're obviously, the connotations of it is, you're too fucking old to do this job anymore.
Yeah.
I'm going to give you a bit of money and you're going to fuck off. That's obviously what the Asian guy wants from this.
Yes.
And Matthew McConaughey's like, fuck you. Like,
straight back at
no way, mate. You can piss off.
Yeah.
And I really enjoyed that scene. And then obviously you get the little flash up of what could happen.
Yeah, that was clever.
And then it rewinds itself. But yeah, that was probably one of my favourite scenes, along with the one when they're in the crack den.
Yeah,
that was really, really good.
I mean, that scene as well just after it, where he chases him into a sea of those hooded gangsters. This is the thing.
Yeah.
His term of gangster versus their term of gangster, and then he pulls out I think it's an Uzi or something.
Yeah.
And they're just scatter and run.
Yeah, they absolutely run.
Oh man, a lot of good commentary about who you should idolise, I think, and what.
Yeah.
Hopefully people see this, and hopefully in some way that applies to them in some way. Yeah. So yeah, a fantastic film. What else did we? Oh, so we went to see Jojo Rabbit, didn't we?
We did, and I was not disappointed.
Oh man, what's his name? Wakiki Tatiti.
Taika Waititi. I'm not sure.
Something like that. Friends with. So he also did, what was it?
So he did Thor Ragnarok.
Ragnarok, yes.
And in Thor, he also voiced Korg, and Korg's pretty much everyone's favourite fucking character now.
And he only has a few
Marvel.
lines, doesn't he?
And every single scene he's in, he is the fucking star.
Yes.
People reel off a Korg reference or something. They're like, oh, that's just a little rock paper scissors joke for you. What's the other one? The Ghost. He talks about Ghost or something like that. There's there's fucking reels of him. But yeah, he's really, really quality in that movie. And this movie, in my eyes, did not disappoint. You went in pretty. You didn't really know what to expect. I didn't really know too much of what to expect. I just kind of knew the main premise of the movie,
which is.
So you've got this small child. I think he's fucking 10 or something like that.
I think he's 10 or 11, something like that.
Yeah, so he's young. He's a young man, and he's
going through
really into Nazis. So obviously it's set around that kind of era. He's super into the Nazis. He's going away to camp, and he ends up.
Disfigured.
Yeah, he ends up disfigured, and also in the meantime you meet his imaginary best friend to help him cope with life, who is Adolf Hitler.
See, this I don't think that resonated entirely with me because I didn't remember that going into the cinema, which was even better. So there's an amazing scene. We won't spoil, I don't think, too much of it. No, let's review it. Yeah. Anyway, let's Hitler pops his head round the tree.
Oh my god!
And
hello.
It's the first you see of him, and because it's this comedy actor that he just has such good timing.
Yeah.
His voice is so funny because he's kind of got that, even though he's doing a very good impression of a German person.
He's doing a good German accent, but obviously you can still hear his native tongue throughout, and it's just so weird to hear someone
Kiwi accent,
to hear that accent mixed along with someone that's trying to portray a German accent. It's very fucking confusing, incredible. But it's really good.
Hello.
It's just hilarious. So yeah, you see him come up behind the tree. He does some crazy dancing in the movie. He does some ridiculous running.
Yeah.
He wears stupid costumes. He eats unicorns. I really, really enjoyed a lot of the dialogue that they gave him. So obviously, everyone knows a fuck ton about Hitler.
Yes.
That's a given. Everyone knows that he's an absolute prick.
He plays a caricature of himself.
Yeah, but exactly. He plays a caricature of this character, and I think it was really important that he gave him stupid lines to say, but that they were, you could imagine that the kind of stuff that Hitler would say, and he'd take it to the nth degree.
Yes.
For example, if you're going to say that what do they say in the movie? That Jewish people have horns.
Oh, yeah.
So, you know, if Jewish people have horns, he's then going to take that to the nth degree by saying, you know, Hitler, when he eats dinner, he has unicorn for dinner. Do you know what I mean? Like, it's just, they take the stupidity of what Hitler did say and what he believed and just kind of take that to the nth degree. I really, really like that. And obviously to try and at least, you know, make some form of a light comedy about it was good.
Yeah. I thought they succeeded massively in... I compared it to Death of Stalin, didn't I? Which was a comedy surrounding a dark time in history, of course. And I don't think that one worked as well, where it felt like because they make it so sort of vivid and grimacing that you're already not in a state that you want to be laughing. And it is a black comedy. This wasn't a black comedy. This was more of a light-hearted comedy.
Yeah.
But it still has really resonant, moving parts to it that really just...
Yeah, definitely.
It hits home the spirit of the times without throwing it in your face. You don't see anything graphic. I don't know what rating this was, do you?
I think it was 15.
15, I think, yeah.
Yeah, I can't imagine it would be... It definitely wasn't an 18.
I'd
say it's either a 12 or a 15.
This is it. It's not far off of a family film. I think the really, really strong thing that we found really moving was the emotion between a boy who's growing up and is struggling with what he wants to be.
Yeah.
He's got false idols with having to... Is it the Hitler Youth that he's part of?
Yeah, so he joins... I think it's basically meant to be like a sort of summer camp thing, but to kind of become like a mini Nazi.
Hitler Youth.
Yeah. So...
And I thought that him trapped between... Why am I doing this? Just being like purely, you can see there's people around him telling him that that's what he should believe in. Everybody around him is doing that. All the kids his age are. So you can see that he's trapped in this kind of like mind of wanting to be an adult and thinking that that's the way to do it, but also being a kid. And you can see the main struggle comes between his mother and his relationship, where you can see Scarlett Johansson's character is just really trying to savour the fact that this kid is almost gone to her, isn't she?
Yeah.
And that I think that was what made this film truly brilliant. Was one again. We talked about Marriage Story. Scarlett Johansson, absolutely fantastic.
Yeah, she's fucking knocking it out of the park.
She really is.
She's got Black Widow coming out in a few months as well.
Yeah.
Like she's definitely, you know, she's earning her money.
She got some nominations, didn't she? Just now?
Yeah. We'll you know, we can go through and speak about the Oscars in a bit.
Okay.
I'll just go through the Oscar noms. But like, she's killing it lately. She's doing really well, and obviously she's. You know, she's kind of gone away from Marvel movies now. She's been killed off. Fucking spoilers if you haven't seen it already. Jesus.
Get with the time.
Yeah, fucking hell. It's almost a year old. Obviously, she's been killed off now in the main timeline. She's got her little solo movie coming up. But other than that, I can't imagine she's going to do much more Marvel. So she's obviously trying to branch out. And she's trying to say to directors and stuff like that, hey, look at me. I can still do all this fucking shit that I could do fucking 10 years ago. I can still do that stuff.
Do you know what she did at first? There's always the case, like with Stephen Merchant, who's for some reason in this film.
Love that.
You've got the problem, like I said with Hugh Grant, where it's a little bit distracting if they're putting on a voice. And she did the German accent while holding that character, like, flawlessly.
She did really well.
There was literally no part of you that didn't believe in that character.
So she was, you know, she was super mumsy in her role, and she played the part of being this child. You know, she's got this troubled child who, as you said, he's very torn in what he wants. But she's, you know, regardless of what he wants to do, she still sees him as his son. You know, she overlooks the fact of he wants to, you know, he's really passionate about Nazis and Hitler and everything like that. She overlooks that, and at the end of the day, it's still her little son. Yeah. And you know, she I just think she does really, really well.
Absolutely.
There's so many good scenes.
Shall we tell them about our favourite
fuck it. So throughout the whole movie, they really focus on feet and shoes. I know it's going to sound like a really stupid thing, But there's probably about 3 or 4 different scenes where she ties up Jojo's shoelaces, and she's trying to teach him how to do it.
Yeah.
And then there's a couple more scenes where you see her dancing. There's one specific scene, they're walking along, I think it's a canal or a lake or a river, something like that. They're walking along, she's sort of stood above him, and so at his height, all he would see if he looked straight on at her would be her shoes.
Her red shoes.
So, and there's a couple of shots that you see where you do just see her shoes and her dancing, and you can almost, you're in his position, you're looking up at this, this icon to you, this is your mum, and he tries to kind of emulate her dancing and everything like that, and then so they really, really focus in on that.
And you're kind of thinking at that point.
Yeah, and you're like, after exactly. After a while, you are kind of like, okay, what's going on? Why the fuck do we keep seeing this woman's feet?
At some point during this film, I whispered to you, I went, I feel like maybe, tragically, this person is going to die. It was because her character herself was just so loving and lovely, and
she was sugary sweet.
Exactly.
Exactly. You knew in this kind of era of where the movie's set, you knew in this kind of era something bad was going to happen to her. And there's this scene where the little boy Jojo what is he doing before the butterfly?
What is he doing before the butterfly? He gets no, I'm not sure. Anyway, he gets distracted by a butterfly.
Yeah, so he's walking along along the street for some reason. Can't really remember why. And then he gets distracted by a butterfly. And he follows the butterfly, and he's following the butterfly, and then you just see him stop, and then the camera shows you what he's looking at, and he is looking at his mum's feet and the shoes specifically at his head height, and then you just see his little face just tilt up and look up, and earlier on in the movie you see that there's some gallows set up in the town that they live, and they have the mum and the son have a conversation about why these people are here. This is it,
and I like that. I think that was another likeable quality of her, that she goes, no, do look at this. Take this in. This is all part of what's going on around you.
You exactly. And then this is
really... She's not a Nazi empathiser. Let's just say that as well. She's very much against them.
Such a powerful scene. Honestly, like we both got pretty. We didn't cry or anything like that, but we got pretty upset.
Yeah,
it was a very emotional scene.
It just shocks you, doesn't it?
There was a lot of sort of emotional heft on that moment of you seeing this woman's shoes, and then the little boy tries to tie him up because one of the laces is undone, but he can't remember how to do it, and then he just clings on to his mum's feet for dear life. But yeah, that was really, really moving scene in the movie, and yeah, from then on you're left without a piece of yourself throughout that. But after that part of the movie,
puts the rest of the film. You could almost see that as like another chapter to the film. Actually, when you think about it in almost 2 halves. So you got the kind of him in SS, and what's the actor's name again, dude? It's not Ethan Hawke. It's
what one?
The sergeant.
Oh fuck.
Oh, it was Sam Rockwell. Sam Rockwell was absolutely amazing. He, like, whoever thought of the character, like, it had to be him, actually. It really did. It was made for that role. Rebel Wilson was in it, didn't need to be in it.
Nah, I kind of...
Some of her lines were a bit throwaway, some of them were a little bit of a cheap laugh.
Yeah.
Didn't need to be in it, honestly.
No, I'm not really a massive fan of hers.
I'm not either, dude.
In some movies she's okay, but in some movies, as you say, she doesn't need to.
Yeah.
It doesn't need to be.
Well, this is it. A lot of the time, I guess with Rebel Wilson, there's such a quality of, I feel like anyone could do what you do. Honestly.
Yeah.
The way she delivers lines is like she's just read them. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, I get what you're saying.
It's not really. It doesn't
she doesn't really add much to the roles that she does.
But Sam Rockwell, amazing. He was like a kind of idol for the kid. Yeah. After the mum passes, it's someone for him to look up to. So obviously, just
quick, brief narrative for the rest of the movie. So the kid's got Hitler as his imaginary friend.
Of course.
He has an accident at camp. He ends up scarring his face, so he has to take a job, a local place, and he basically just puts up leaflets and flyers and stuff like that for the Hitler movement.
Propaganda, yeah.
And his mother, in the meantime, so she's very shady throughout the whole movie.
Yeah, you're wondering.
She's always kind of
Mysterious.
going off and leaving the boy by himself,
Yeah.
oh, I'm just popping out somewhere. But so she has taken in a Jewish girl, and she's hidden her in her dead daughter's room, like in the walls. So she's hiding this Jewish girl out in the house. The little boy finds out, and obviously, he's, to begin with, he's a Nazi enthusiast, and then kind of he gets whittled down to the point where his mum dies, and he obviously has this realization of, you know what, my mum's dead. This girl in my house is all I've got.
Yeah.
My mum was trying to protect her. I'm gonna follow on with that.
Yes. Yeah.
Which is great. And the girl, she does really well. I thought some of her stuff, especially when you first see her, is really funny. They really put the emphasis on her being a scary prospect. They try and deliver her introduction into the movie is like you're seeing it through Jojo's eyes. You see. When she comes out from behind the wall, you see her hand like sort of just clasp the edge of the wall, like you would do in The Grudge or The Ring or something like. They make it scary. Yeah. The boy runs downstairs. When she's coming down the stairs, you see her hand on the banister creeping down.
Horror film trope.
Yes, it's real horror film trope. And then she comes downstairs and she takes his knife away from him, and and she's really, you really kind of get the feeling like, oh shit, like, okay, so this is how the Jewish people were viewed as.
Right.
I think that's what the director's trying to get across to you.
Yeah.
And then throughout the movie, like, their relationship blossoms. To which at the end of the movie, once the war's over, and obviously the Germans have lost. The boy manages to make it back to the house, and yes, they kind of, you don't know what happens from there, but he goes back. He eventually tells her that, well, he doesn't tell her, but she eventually finds out that she can leave the house and she's free, and Germany have lost the war, and you're just kind of left with those two dancing, and it's quite a nice moment. I'm not usually a massive fan of really sort of cliche things like that in movies. But they did, it was mentioned a couple of times earlier on in the movie.
So I think he asked her, what's the first thing you would do if the war finished tomorrow? She goes, I would just dance. I would just dance in the street. And so
there are a couple of other moments in that movie as well with the mum dancing, and you can see that there's a real big relationship blossoming between the Jewish girl and Scarlett Johansson. Her mum character, and the mum character does dance a lot in the movie, so you can kind of see why the Jewish girl would say that. In
a big sense, that I think that really represents the whole kind of, you've got the negative aspect of the Nazi and what that was bringing to the country of just pure kind of like robotic brutality, but then you've also got that hope for some kind of spirituality, a soul, something a little bit more, and the dancing represents that. And also,
definitely, I agree.
Within the youth, you can see that there are those kids that still have that, and it's kind of just clinging on. And I love the fact that there's that kind of very, very well handled slow transition to him. Kind of just, he starts just questioning what's right and wrong, doesn't he? And then throughout the film, getting to know this girl, he really does slowly unravel into knowing exactly what's wrong and right. And then at the end of it, you do come away and you think, thank God that this kid survived. Thank God other kids like that did survive. Because
you really see that as well a lot with when he speaks to his imaginary friend Hitler. Because to begin with, he's just speaking to him like everything's normal. And, he's speaking to him about, fucking Nazi bullshit. and you know, it's just discussing, you know, when he finds the Jewish girl in the house, it's like, oh, you need to tell me everything like about Jews. What am I meant to do?
Don't they live in caves and stuff?
Yeah. And then you slowly, throughout all the conversations he starts to have with him, you slowly see that the boy's mentality on this is changing. And yeah, it all kind of comes to a big crescendo with that character, and he kicks him out the fucking window. Fuck you, Hitler.
Fuck you, Hitler.
Yeah.
And I think I was saying the war scenes were really, really stunning to watch. Actually, so obviously at the end of it, I imagine, I don't think you ever know where it's set, but I imagine it would be somewhere like Munich, where the war would have eventually ended up. Really,
I was actually going to say something really stupid then.
What?
When you said that you didn't really know where it
Is
said.
it Germany?
I was going to say. I'm pretty sure it's Germany, mate.
Germany, mate. No shit. And what else was I going to say? So yeah, I think at the end of the film, you can tell that it's all been very well brought to light, and it didn't feel cheesy. That's the other thing. Yeah. The other thing we did mention was just the fact that Tatiti's, whatever his name is, character, Hitler, is kind of like, there's this. I kept thinking, okay, is he just like a joke version of Hitler? But there's also aspects of, because like he sort of goes, what do you think about the size in this outfit? Do you think they need to be bigger? Yeah. And I just
when he's holding out these like Aladdin style trousers. It's like, do you think maybe the hips need to be more baggy?
and I just thought, okay, so it's just a joke version of Hitler. Yeah. But then there's also aspects actually where, like Hitler would, which I think everybody knows that they needed to take the piss out of a little bit.
You see like this powerful terror dictator.
Yeah, the sort of like guy that just starts on one thing and then just lets loose with a great big gesticulating speech about society.
Can you name me anything he says in his speech?
No.
So for me, that was kind of like, it was meant to be like a, not droning, but it was meant to be like a long monologue.
It was.
You don't know where you start. You don't know how you got to the ending. You haven't got a fucking clue about the content. You just know that it's a really powerful figure.
Definitely, yeah.
And it was just, I definitely saw it the same way as you did. The other thing that I thought was really, really good was, at some point, they mention in the movie that the Nazis and Hitler see the youth, the young people that are coming into, the Nazi, what the fuck do you call it, empire? Yeah. So the young people that are coming into the Nazi empire, they see them as, right, you guys are going to be the future leaders of of this country, of everything that our empire that we have. And there's a really, really important scene right at the end of the movie, and for me, it kind of sums up why the boy's character changes as well as it does, is because he's pushed into battle by Rebel Wilson's character. He's pushed into this battle scene, and he's just stood there doing nothing, sort of slow motion shot, and he's just looking around him, and all he can see is, it's not the adults fighting, because they're all fucking dead.
Yeah.
It's all these children fighting. All these children, you've got children with guns, with bombs, and they're all getting fucking murdered.
Yeah.
And he's just kind of looking around at him, and he's just like, it's this kind of final realisation.
Daunting, yeah.
You know what? All these people said that, we were going to be the future leaders. We were going to be the future of this great empire. And he's just looking around being like,
into battle.
no, that's bullshit.
Yeah.
And it just, you kind of... And that, for me, was the final nail in the coffin of his character just being like, fuck this, it's bullshit.
Yeah, what is this nonsense? I thought that, to have that, when you say it out loud, right, to have that in a, whatever it is, 15 film, I thought that was brave, but also didn't feel out of place and felt like it needed to be in there, really.
Yeah.
Unlike Death of Stalin, where there's just like a lot of just sort of people getting shot, a lot of like references to rape and stuff, and you start sort of cringing a bit. But this is right at the end of the film, and you do feel like it's not just about the actual physical war happening, it's also about the characters in this guy's head, because Sam Rockwell comes out as sort of a made-up version of himself.
So he designs this little suit that he's going to wear into battle with a cape and a big, I can't remember what they're called, but the helmet with the massive feather on. And he's going to have this music playing behind him. He comes out with all that, all that kind of facade on. Yeah,
frilly stuff. Yeah, and you're kind of thinking. So this is also the death of like him being a child, I guess, as well.
Yeah.
But then that realization of what's wrong and right, and actually this is going to be okay for him, escaping from that childish. But yeah, it does end on a cliffhanger. And at the end, I did say something like, I wonder what would happen. Would that girl now stay in Germany with him? Would she go home? Is everyone she knows probably dead? She says references to concentration camps.
She references. Yeah, there's references to camps that where people never come back from. That's what she obviously says about her parents. She says that she has a fiance, but he died of I think it's tuberculosis. She says. So she's got no one. The little boy's got no one. Presumably, they're just gonna sort of have not in a weird way, but have a family together and. They're gonna,
look after one another.
Exactly.
Yeah,
they're gonna be there for each other.
You loved the other little kid, didn't you? Like,
I loved him.
Weird to say, but
the little fat kid with the glasses. That was fucking brilliant.
You were like, get me more of this kid in Hollywood.
I honestly, like, whenever he was in a scene, I was just like, he's fucking brilliant.
Yeah.
It's like when you watch Stranger Things and you get the little fucking dweeby kid that's in it as well. Oh, he's brilliant.
Oh, I know who you mean. I never know the guy's name though. But yeah, the guy that's in it. Yeah, I can't remember.
Honestly, like I love this little chubby kid. He's brilliant. I don't know. He's probably
his accent was naff, but actually,
it was crap accent. But I'm not really fussed about that. I think it was more.
He didn't need to be. Yeah.
He was more there for a bit of fun, a bit of light-hearted humour, and it was really good.
Yeah, he kind of felt like that sort of Seth Rogen character as a child. You know what I mean?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. No, you can tell. I think just by us chatting about it, how much we understood and really it hit home. It really hit home.
I thoroughly enjoyed that movie, and honestly,
out of 10,
if you have 8.5.
8.5. Yeah, I'll go. Yeah, about 8.5. Yeah, that sounds good.
I can't. We're agreeing for me, I really enjoyed The Gentleman. I really enjoyed Jojo Rabbit. Mm-hmm. I wouldn't place one above the other.
Haven't we? Spoiled for good films.
Yeah, it's actually quite good for once.
Star Wars. Oh, by the way, mentioning Star Wars.
Yeah.
So the other thing I forgot to mention last time we talked about it was the fact that the other thing that we maybe could have got out of that film was a great big reunion of, when you hear the voices of kind of like all the past Jedi.
You get like Mace Windu
and they're all. Apparently, there was going to be a scene where they all come back.
Like, that'd have been really good.
Imagine that, just seeing
one of them as all as Force ghosts.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, that'd have been really good.
Apparently, they even got in touch with Hayden Christensen. I mean, all of it would have been amazing, but they apparently went, no, we don't need that. But I imagine the budget for that would be unreal just for one scene. But come on, guys, you're making millions and millions, Disney.
I know, but then how trashy would that scene have looked?
Yeah, I don't think so.
Anyway, I don't want
to. Like in Avengers, he said it's every fan's wet dream. That kind of just like every single character coming forward together, and they thought they were doing it with the women. That kind of like all the women together.
Yeah,
like it kind of works. There's a lot of people there that are like riled up. Like,
Anyway, I don't want to throw too much more shade at Star Wars. I can't be bothered. We gave it its time.
That's it.
We gave it its time.
I just said about like just things that could have been in it, and that was one of them. I think so. I feel bad for J.J. Abrams. That's my point. I think he probably had quite a good idea.
You're probably the only one that does.
But he also got interrupted halfway through the trilogy by another director, so that probably would fuck you up a little bit. Well, anyway.
So I'm just gonna give you just to break up our massive chat.
Yeah.
I'm just quickly going to run through some Oscar nominees.
Yeah, go on.
You give me a yes or no as to whether you think they're worthy or not.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
I'm just going to go through a couple of the categories, not all of them. But we'll start with Best Actor.
The big uns, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
So we've got Leo D for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Joaquin Phoenix from Joker. Antonio Banderas from Pain and Glory.
Need to see this Pain and Glory.
Adam Driver, Marriage Story.
See, I'm not thinking that's a Oscar winning.
Oh, fuck you! That was a powerful performance.
Yeah, I'm not. Even though it was a good performance, I don't think he'll win it. Yeah. That's for sure. But...
And Jonathan Pryce in The Two Popes.
Yeah.
So judging by that, who do you reckon is going to win? So you've got...
It's between Leo and Joaquin for me.
Yeah?
Yeah. Although, you were saying Antonio Banderas...
Apparently he's fucking amazing in that movie. I've not seen him Pain and Glory either.
Do you know the synopsis for this Pain and Glory? I haven't heard of it, really.
Let's just try and give it a watch.
Let's give it a watch. Yeah. Okay.
We might as well.
Yeah, for sure. Okay. But yeah, I'd love... Honestly, you know what we said after Once Upon a Time in Hollywood? There was some unbelievable scenes with Leo in it.
Yeah.
Leo, especially that scene where he's got an audition. Well, it's not an audition. He's in the bar.
Yeah, he's in character.
Yeah,
he's in character in the movie, and it was fucking brilliant.
Incredible acting.
You got a film within a film within a film.
Yes.
Basically.
Yeah.
Okay, so Best Picture, 1917.
We knew that would be in there.
Ford versus Ferrari, which I'm pretty sure in England is just called Le Mans.
Yes, yeah, I think it is.
Yeah, but
Le Mans 66?
Yeah, but everywhere else it's called Ford versus Ferrari.
Okay.
How fucking stupid's that? It's like they kind of think that English people don't know what Ford is and what Ferrari is, and that they used to have a big rivalry.
I actually got the other way round for that one. I honestly thought it's like they're spelling it out to like, I would say Americans, Ford versus Ferrari, so they can really go... Ford better win that fight. Do you know what I mean? Rather than that's where they're kind of like, it's a film about the race that you should probably know about.
You can call it Le Mans.
Le Mans. Oh. Cultured swine.
Yes, go. 1917, Ford vs Ferrari, Joker, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Parasite, The Irishman, Little Women, Jojo Rabbit, and Marriage Story.
Jojo Rabbit's in there.
I'm really happy that a lot of these movies I've already seen without trying to go out of my way to see them, if that makes sense.
You wanted to see them anyway.
Usually with Oscar movies, you can tell when a movie's Oscar, it's Oscar bait.
You can't you?
And, you can just...
It's a shame because honestly... Yeah, it's a shame because honestly I did think that about 1917 a little bit. I mean, it's coming out as they're happening in the Oscars.
Yeah,
It's also shot as if it was in one long camera shot, isn't it? I mean, it just sounds like he's after Best Director, if I'm honest. But at the same time, I cannot wait to see it. So,
they did that in a really annoying way for me. Like, with most movies, they will come out at different times in United Kingdom as what they do in the US. But with 1917, I'm pretty sure it came out in the US maybe 2 or 3 weeks ago. People have been banging on about how good it is, and it's only just come out in the UK now, which is just ridiculous for us. So out of all of those, what are your sort of top 2, top 3? Who do you reckon's going to win?
I'm not sure. What do you think?
I reckon Joker's going to be up there. I reckon Joker's going to be up there for a lot of things, to be honest.
I think so, yeah. I think it should be winning some of these, for sure.
Yeah. Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, for me, Best Picture, probably not.
No, I don't think so.
Irishman as well, not for me.
No.
Jojo Rabbit, I love that it's in there, but I don't think it will win. Same with Marriage Story, I love that it's in there. Like, even the fact it's got an Oscar nomination.
Exactly,
is really,
it says
really
a lot
great.
about it. I'm glad they included those two, definitely. But what is it? What do you reckon?
I don't know. I'll have to go and see 1917, but for all the buzz that it's getting overseas, I reckon 1917.
I'm kind of banking on that a little bit. I think it will be. Yeah. But we shall see. Let's give it a full review in a couple of weeks.
And then if we just quickly go through Best Director, you've got Quentin Tarantino for Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Todd Phillips for Joker, which is fucking mad if you look at Todd Phillips's other movies he's directed.
Hangover.
Bong Joon-ho for Parasite.
Okay.
Martin Scorsese for Irishman and Sam Mendes for 1917. Pretty much cut and paste what I said about...
It's going to be Sam Mendes.
Yeah.
I don't think Quentin Tarantino... Honestly, I don't think this is his best work.
Maybe even Martin Scorsese, if they kind of want to just be like, oh, well done, you made a really good long Netflix movie.
Oof, I don't see that happening though, do you? I think it would be 1917 gets maybe even both of those. It would honestly, it would be nice to see Once Upon a Time in Hollywood get Best Picture, so that 1917 can get Best Director.
Yeah.
In an ideal world.
Yeah. I get it. Yeah. I see where you're coming from.
Because it sounds like the director had like this incredible vision of kind of that Call of Duty style. Let's walk through with the characters.
Yeah.
Every different external scene. So yeah, we shall see. Exciting. So when are the Oscars again? That's sort of early February.
Soonish.
Soonish.
That's my take on it. They're soonish.
So specific.
Thank you.
I think I had just a couple of other things. Oh yeah, did you see Joaquin Phoenix got arrested at another of these climate change rallies right as this happened?
Why?
It was last week. So because they're just peacefully protesting, like celebrities are going along and trying to like, get the people rallied as well and just show that they're in support of this.
Yeah, they're trying to support it too.
I think it's the third celebrity now, so it happened to Jane Fonda and one other person. And now it's Joaquin Phoenix right in the middle of it getting arrested. You're just thinking, that's so typical of just American politics to just be like,
yeah, I get what you mean.
Ugh, so stupid. I saw a terrible interview today of Bill Nye the Science Guy. He was on...
Bill Nye, Science Guy.
He was on Fox News.
Yeah.
And it was against someone called something Carlson. And honestly, dude, every part of you just wants to just like wring this guy's neck. Because it's... I don't know what... They honestly get told to bring these people in. Obviously, Fox News, Rupert Murdoch... So therefore you've got ties to the oil business and all these other businesses. So they try and just rubbish it at every single chance.
Yeah.
But the worst thing is they bring people in with the hope that they can talk sensibly about these issues. And it's about climate change. And he says, so you've said that climate change is going to affect us in the next couple of decades. And he just takes this stance of, you've probably got some stuff to say, so I'm just going to talk over you. Talk gibberish. He basically takes it on a tangent of, so when would the next ice age have been if we weren't here? And Bill Nye's like, that's your question. Because honestly, it gets to the point of ridiculous where it's like, so I'm just asking, so how much do humans have to do with climate change? That's all I'm asking, and you're trying to change this question. And Bill Nye keeps going into statistics, and then he goes, no, you're not answering my question. And it's honestly like a 5-minute interview that will make your blood boil.
Honestly, I can't stand American news.
Have you
How are people watching? Have you been to America?
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you go to America and you watch the news in America, it's completely different to watching the news in England. It's definitely a lot more of a fucking sideshow.
It's unreal.
I went there once when the Tiger Woods thing happened.
Oh yeah.
Remember when it all came out that he's been cheating on his wife? I think it was.
Yeah.
It was a massive fucking deal. But it was a massive deal here. Mm-hmm. But it got put as a piece on the news. People spoke about it for 5 minutes, then they went on to the next news story, and everyone fucking forgot about it.
That's it, yeah.
In America, they literally had hours and hours dedicated. Tiger Woods is a piece of fucking shit.
That's exact word.
Yeah, exactly. It's
brutal. It's so brutal.
Yeah.
And it's so demeaning for the people they bring on. I just hate the idea of bringing someone into an interview so you can shut them down.
Yeah, it's
and then
just
he goes,
bullshit.
You're welcome anytime. Yeah, at the end, and you're
off.
thinking, do you reckon he's going to come back?
Yeah.
So you can literally talk over him and just not let him have any points.
Piece of fucking
it's
shit.
Awful. American news, if you're watching it, don't listen to anything that they're saying over there. Jesus Christ.
Just speaking bullshit.
Form your own opinion.
Same as BBC.
Yeah, well, there's also bias in it. You see it less over here, but...
Get your news from Twitter and Google and Facebook.
Like the rest of us.
Because that always works
internet.
out. Yeah, Lad Bible, they always tell the truth.
Other than that, dude, I don't think I've got much else. Did you have much else?
So the last thing I really want to speak to you about. So I was mentioning to you before we started speaking today. I unfortunately have never seen the movie Face Off. I completed that today. Watched it all today. Crazy fucking action movie. Like, when's it from? 80s or 90s or whatever. Like, it's exactly what you picture.
Like early 90s. This film.
It's stupid, ridiculous, hilarious, but brilliant. All in one.
What's the line where it goes? Take your face off. Like that. It's just ridiculous. So the premise is.
John Travolta takes his face off and becomes Nicolas Cage. Nicolas Cage wakes up realizes that his face has been taken.
Yeah.
So he forces the doctor to give him John Travolta's face, and they become each other. One of them's a cop, the other one's a fucking awful villain. And yeah, it just kind of goes from there.
So I've
it's
watched
ridiculous. It's fucking honestly like I enjoyed it, but it's just stupid.
It's
and funny.
unbelievably. It's crazy that film get made. Imagine some guy like a writer saying to some producer about the storyline that he's got.
So what we're gonna do is we're gonna get this one guy. We're gonna take his face off. Yeah. And then we're gonna get this other guy, and we're gonna put this other guy's face on the first guy. What do you think, man?
But then he gets his face.
Oh my fucking!
I like the way
Hook it up into my veins.
How much do you want? I love the way in Hollywood for you, everybody has the advert guy's voice.
Yeah.
How about if this guy? Like everybody's.
But yeah, honestly, I loved it. It was ridiculous. But the main reason I wanted to speak about it was
Go on.
I recently found out that they would like to make a remake of that movie.
Oh.
If you could pick any two actors from this day and age right now to remake Face Off, who would you go for?
Do you know who we can't go for that I would have liked to is Kevin Spacey. He would have been really good in that.
Yeah.
We don't talk
I
about him
don't
anymore,
think.
I guess.
Yeah, I don't think Kevin Spacey gets mentioned in movie circles anymore.
Yeah, apparently he's still doing those weird YouTube videos where he's playing the character of
the president.
Yeah, President Guy in what's the freaking series?
House of Cards.
House of Cards, that's the one. Yeah, I just saw another one of them come up recently. I was just like, this is still happening, and he's still getting all these trials again and like allegations. Anyway, the other one, like a really over the top actor.
My instinct.
Kevin Hart.
My instinct reaction was to go for Kevin Hart and The Rock, just because they do ridiculously funny impressions of each other anyway.
Oh yeah, true.
If you've ever seen any interviews with them two together, you know, whenever they're going for fucking Jumanji or whatever movie they're making every 2 months, when they do impressions of each other, it's really, really funny.
It is.
So I just think seeing those two having to impersonate the other one but being super serious about it, would just be.
Do you know what,
fucking
dude?
brilliant.
I would pay to see that. You've got a good call there. Very good call.
The other one, if I had to be slightly more, well, actually no, I wouldn't be slightly more serious about it. Show me something fucking ridiculous and stupid like Seth Rogen and Bruce Willis. Like, honestly, it'd just be fucking stupid.
I can't think of anyone else that's just that ridiculous.
That's the thing. Yeah, you need to, when you think about this, you know, maybe not so much John Travolta, but Nicolas Cage is known for his fucking crazy ass acting. So when you think about this, you need to think about two guys that can embody the other person's charisma. So it needs to be an actor with a lot of, you know, he's got to have a lot about him. He's got to have a lot of charisma.
Yeah.
He needs to, you know, it needs to be that kind of guy where they can try and be him.
It's a difficult one.
It's very tough.
I just, like, honestly, I don't think... I wonder if they had a good time on set on that film, because a lot of it, you can see that Nick Cage, he did some ridiculous shit, but he always is so serious.
Yeah.
You got, like... I wonder of method actors today, like, who would really, really take that into the... Imagine Christian Bale. Christian Bale could be good in this.
Yeah.
Actually, if you
Christian
took,
Bale.
like, because he could take it to another, like, if he was the villain, the horror...
So Christian Bale's going to be the villain. Who would you have as the protagonist?
I'm not being racist, but you do need another white person because it wouldn't work with the faces otherwise. You can't get a black person's face in a white person's body. Shh, it just doesn't work.
Just whisper quieter.
I'm sorry, but it's true.
Okay, so say Christian Bale for the villain.
Who could you play? So it also had to be someone that kind of similar figure, similar features.
Tom Cruise.
Oh my god.
But then they're just really bland guys.
Not Tom Cruise. Christian Bale can play crazy. We've seen that in American Psycho.
Eddie Norton.
Ryan Gosling.
Oh, fuck off.
He could play it.
Oh, he's bland.
He's too bland. He's too vanilla.
He's very vanilla.
Very vanilla.
Like
You're right.
I really like La La Land, but he's just very vanilla.
I was just thinking of Drive because he plays that kind of like psycho person.
I
But
hate
he
that.
doesn't have to show
Fucking hate
that,
film.
does he? He doesn't.
I hate
that you hate that film.
I can't stand that movie.
Do you know, it had a really like indie film feel to it. I think I liked that about
Fuck
it.
off, go away. Honestly.
Good soundtrack. Anyway.
Daniel Radcliffe
What?
and
Daniel Radcliffe could work. With that British accent as well. Just have him literally how he is normally.
Daniel Radcliffe. Wait, I'm thinking. Daniel Radcliffe and Christian Bale. Would that work?
No.
Why not? They're very polar opposite.
Yeah, they are. They're too opposite. And also, Daniel's like a small guy, and Christian's all the way up here somewhere.
Oh, don't worry. That's
We're
figured.
ignoring that.
No, well, they figured all that in Face Off.
Oh yeah, they did.
They sorted out John Travolta's hairline.
Oh yeah, they did, didn't they?
They made him slimmer. Honestly, like the lengths they went to be like, no, it's fine. What we're going to do is we're going to make you into Nicolas Cage. It's like, but he looks nothing like it. He can't be him. Yeah, don't worry. We'll
blame
put your
it on the
face on.
surgeons.
We'll put your face on, and then we'll just rearrange your ears, sort your hair out, make you really slimmer.
Move your cheekbones.
It literally doesn't work.
Doesn't
like
work.
That.
We were watching this, so I come in just before this, until Nathan watching this, and we just watched the last 10 minutes. They do not make Hollywood movies like that anymore.
No, it's just crazy,
like,
all
the
out.
Stunts are unbelievable. Just like
Unbelievable.
so stupid. Like the last scene is them fighting whilst on two speedboats and going at maximum pace through everything, and then both of them fighting, and then one of them blowing up into a police boat who also blows up, and then they both hit like a massive anchor. Everything flies into the air in slow motion with the blowing up boat behind them, and they're both flying through the air. You're just thinking, this would never have got made today.
But my question throughout the whole movie was, when these two guys fight, I'm like, oh, you don't hurt each other's faces, because if you're the other guy, you're like, you know, yeah, I want to kill this guy, but ultimately,
yeah,
I still want my face back.
I don't want to punch him in the face.
And that question got answered in one of the last scenes.
It did, didn't it? Yeah.
Where fucking old Nicolas Cage's character, the villain, gets a piece of shattered glass or something. He starts carving up his John Travolta
His
face.
own face, yeah.
Which, you know, that is what I would do if I had exchanged faces with someone and I wanted to piss them off. Alright, I'm just going to start carving into your face, mate. Fuck you.
Yeah, well, I would shoot you with a harpoon.
Also interesting, would you... Fuck you. Would you feel that? Because surely the surgeon hasn't got enough time to
you'd
fix
have
the
to.
nerve endings.
You assume you would have to feel everything. The nerves connect somehow. I don't know.
What that is?
Science.
They just slot in together.
Yeah.
It's like a USB.
Yeah.
Just slots in.
Exactly. They just come through the skin and I don't know.
Makes sense.
Reattaches. Yeah.
Oh, fuck it, I've got it.
Who?
Christian Bale,
Go.
Keanu Reeves.
Oh, but he is a bit of a character. And Christian Bale could play Keanu Reeves really well. That's the one. Nice.
Thank you.
Yeah,
it.
I'm very happy with this film already.
Perfect.
We would all watch it, wouldn't we?
We've booked it. Okay. So
I've just got an idea as well. Worst remakes of all time. If we talk about that another time. But I was just thinking, please don't be like Point Break. Did you ever see the remake of Point Break?
it was really good.
Oh, it was not good. It was so bad and and it ruined the essence of the original. Oh, anyway, we'll talk about that another time.
Sounds good. I like that. Maybe we could do a list on it.
Maybe we could maybe do a section.
A whole section.
Nathan's top blah 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 of the week.
Sounds good to me, man.
Decent. Okay. Stand
Cool.
by
Well, why don't we wrap it all up here?
let's wrap it up. Thank you for listening.
Yeah,
to
thanks
Colour
for
Me
listening.
Intrigued.
Please don't forget to like, share, subscribe,
Please do.
and just keep listening for more content.
Indeed. Thanks, guys. See ya.
Cheers. Bye.